When I was just starting my fasting experiments back in 2005, I was extremely worried about the purity of the fast and doing it correctly, and questions like, will coffee break my fast? Will chewing gum break my fast? Will diet soda break my fast? Will electrolytes break my fast? Will the fasting police break into my house? But as it turns out, I was focusing on the wrong part of the equation here, especially if we're talking about weight and fat loss. That's what I've learned through the multiple years of research and my own experience, and following a system aimed at controlling your body fat by reducing the food noise, where fasting is just a tool. If such control aligns with your goals, let's talk about what breaking the fast means in the first place, and the three major components of the fast which can be broken. The last being the most critical and goes far beyond coffee. But first, we need to kill the biggest myth about fasting. Fasting does not mean that your body is not using any fuel to run itself. Because even during a perfect water-only fast, your bloodstream is not empty. Your liver is still making glucose and ketones. Your fat cells are releasing fatty acids. Your muscles are breaking down and rebuilding themselves all the time. And this whole process of body recycling operation never stops, even including your microbiome, which becomes like an extra supplier of fuel and building materials. Tiny one, but beating chewing gum by a mile. So when fasting, you stop eating from the outside, but you never stop being fed from the inside. You just change your energy suppliers so they don't get lazy and complacent, which is the major physical point of fasting. The major mental point is to train your brain to not rely on food that much, which is even more important in the long run. We'll come to them both in the list below. So the question is not, did 1 calorie enter my mouth? The question is, did that calorie change the state I was trying to create? And instead of asking, will X break my fast, it's much more useful to ask, which part of the fast I am trying not to break? Because there are 3 parts. That's our fasting filter checklist I was just talking about. The very first on that list is the rule. If your rule is water only, then water only means water only. Gum breaks it, coffee breaks it, anything which is not water breaks it. That doesn't mean that those things are metabolically bad, it just means they break the rule you chose. And this matters for religious fasting, or even more for medical fasting before surgery or a blood test, like lipid profile. That's not the time to be creative. Or if your doctor told you to do full gut rest. For example, next week I'm doing a short water fast for LDA, low dose allergy shot, and I can only have water and plain salt. Cannot even use toothpaste. Full rest for 3 days. So, by the way, if you're planning to fast, you're welcome to join me. Now, the second part of that filter checklist after the rule is biology. And biology is more critical when you are fasting for fat loss, metabolic health, or longevity. The key is our cells do not know much about the supply chain. They don't care about hour 27 on my fasting app. They care about fatty acid molecules zipping around, amino acids, glucose, hormones, and general energy availability. For fat loss, there is no mystery here. If you add, say, 20 calories of cream, you added 20 calories. You add 30 calories of sugar, you added 30 calories. No magic. There is nothing to even break. The main factors are your hunger and how it changes after that drink of food, what you eat next, and your total daily calorie, which you ideally take in the earlier part of the day, not in the evening. That's it. A tiny splash of cream is not safe because it's fat. Tiny sip of juice is not evil because it has carbs. At tiny doses, they both are tiny, and that includes most electrolytes, chewing gum, diet sodas, lemon water, you name it. And doesn't matter if it's intermittent fasting, water fasting, fasting mimicking diet, when you take 500 calories a day, works great, by the way, for health and fat loss and everything else. Your cells don't care. Yes, those carbs are more likely to give you a little glucose and insulin bump, but if you're talking about 20, 30, 50 calories and your goal is fat loss, neither one matters much because it just noise. Unless they change your behavior. We'll get to that in a second. But the bottom line for fat loss, if you have a coffee with cream and, oh gosh, even sugar, though you can use allulose or monk's fruit, if that helps you to eat less on that day, or if you are water fasting to fast for longer, it's a total win. You might be breaking the first part, the rule, but you're making the biology part so much stronger. And before you ask, it's valid for autophagy as well. If you, let's say, 200 pounds and eat nothing for a day versus 1000 calorie deficit for 3 days or 100 deficit for 30 days, there is no science which says which one is better. And for long-term results, my educated guess is that months with a tiny deficit is stronger and better signal for your physical and mental health and eating habits. Because the third thing you can break during the fast is behavior. And this one is arguably the most important, or at least in my system, in the fast forward. Because some people can put a little cream in coffee and move on with their day. Others do the same, but suddenly the kitchen and the fridge start talking. And one sip becomes one bite becomes, I already messed up. And that opens binge gates. And then you feel guilty and stressed, and that freaking loop starts again. Been there, done that. Yes, and in this case, the fast wasn't broken because of the coffee or calories, but because the whole behavior collapsed. So how do you fix that? That's £1 million question. Well, first thing is to stop blaming yourself, because it doesn't help anyway. So if you eat the cookie and enjoy the damn cookie, it actually makes you more mindful and less stressed, and you will stop much sooner as a result. Second, you have to be honest with yourself. The best question to ask here: how is it working for me? That's my favorite question by far for everything. Again, it's all about being mindful. It's all about your own eating habits and triggers and setting up your environment. And that's the best question to ask. And third, try a short water fast, couple days, but not to lose weight quickly as the main goal. Instead, use system I apply here to focus on slow prep and slow refeed. Let's fast forward there together.